Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Coffee Talk Show. I'm Eva, and I'm here with my co-host, James. James, you look like you have a story brewing. What's going on?
Oh, Eva, you're not going to believe what happened to me at this trendy coffee shop this morning. So I walk in, feeling all confident, and I see they have this drink called a Cortado on the menu.
Oh no, I can already sense where this is going.
Right? So I confidently march up to the counter and say, I'll have a cortado, please, putting all this weird emphasis on the wrong syllable. The barista, this young guy with perfectly styled hair, just stares at me with this confused expression. Then he goes, do you mean a cortado? And pronounces it correctly, cortado.
Oh my goodness, that's so embarrassing, but also kind of sweet that he helped you out. For our listeners who might not be familiar, a cortado is a Spanish coffee drink, equal parts espresso and warm milk. The stress is on the middle syllable, cortado.
Exactly. And you know what? The guy was actually really cool about it. He started explaining the drink to me, how it's similar to a cappuccino but with less foam, more like a small latte but stronger. Then he recommended I try their oat milk version because it's creamier. I felt like I was getting a coffee education.
That's awesome. Coffee shops can be such great places to practice pronunciation and learn new vocabulary. Did you end up getting the oat milk version?
I did, and it was incredible. But here's the funny part. While I'm waiting for my drink, I overhear this other customer trying to order a macchiato, but pronouncing it like macchiato instead of macchiato. And I'm thinking, at least I'm not the only one struggling with coffee pronunciations.
It's like a whole community of people trying to navigate Italian and Spanish coffee terms. You know, this reminds me of my own coffee shop disaster from last week. I was at this fancy place near my office, and they had all these specialty brewing methods listed. Pour over, French press, cold brew, nitro coffee.
Oh, those can be intimidating. What happened?
Well, I wanted to try something new, so I asked for the pour over. The barista asks, "Which beans would you like?" and starts rattling off all these origin names: Ethiopian Yirgacheffe, Colombian Huila, Guatemalan Antigua. I'm standing there like a deer in headlights, completely overwhelmed by all these exotic-sounding names.
I can totally picture that. What did you end up choosing?
I panicked and just pointed to the first one on the list. It turns out it was this really light, fruity Ethiopian coffee that tasted completely different from anything I'd ever had. It was actually amazing, but I felt so out of my element. The whole experience made me realize how coffee culture has its own specialized vocabulary that can be really intimidating for newcomers.
Absolutely. And speaking of feeling out of your element with specialized vocabulary and equipment, that's actually the perfect segue into today's main topic, going to the gym. Because if you think coffee shop terminology is intimidating, wait until you step into a fitness center for the first time.
Oh, wow, that's such a perfect parallel. Both situations involve walking into a space with specialized equipment, unique vocabulary, and unwritten social rules that everyone assumes you already know.
Exactly. And just like with coffee shops, once you learn the basic vocabulary and etiquette, gyms become much less intimidating. So today, we're going to break down everything you need to know to feel confident in a gym environment, from equipment names to workout terminology to those crucial unwritten rules.
Let's start with the basics. James, when you first walk into a typical gym, what's usually the first area you encounter?
Usually it's the cardio section, and wow, can that be overwhelming. You've got rows and rows of different machines. The most common ones are treadmills, which are basically moving walkways where you can walk, jog, or run in place. Most treadmills have digital displays showing your speed, distance, time, and calories burned.
Right next to the treadmills, you'll usually find elliptical machines. These are the ones where you stand upright and move your arms and legs in an oval or elliptical motion. They're great because they give you a full body workout while being easier on your joints than running.
Then you have stationary bikes, and there are actually several types. The upright bikes look like regular bicycles. Recumbent bikes have a larger seat with a backrest where you sit more like you're in a chair. And spin bikes, or indoor cycling bikes, are designed to mimic road cycling with a more aggressive riding position.
And don't forget rowing machines. These simulate the motion of rowing a boat and provide an excellent full body workout. You pull a handle attached to a chain or cord while sliding back and forth on a seat. They work your legs, core, back, and arms all at once.
Some gyms also have Stairmasters or step machines, which simulate climbing stairs continuously. There are also arc trainers, which are like a cross between an elliptical and a stair climber. The variety can be pretty mind-boggling when you're starting out.
Now, if you venture beyond the cardio section, you'll enter the strength training area. And this is where things can get really intimidating. There are basically three categories of strength training equipment: free weights, weight machines, and functional training equipment.
Let's start with free weights. These include dumbbells. Those are the smaller weights that you hold one in each hand. They usually range from 5 pounds up to over 100 pounds. Then you have barbells, which are the long bars that you load with weight plates on each end.
The weight plates come in different sizes and weights, typically 2.5, 5, 10, 25, 35, and 45 pounds. You'll also see kettlebells, which are cast iron weights with a handle on top. They're great for dynamic movements and functional training.
Then there are the specialized racks and stations. The power rack or squat rack is probably the most important piece of equipment in the free weight area. It's a tall, cage-like structure with adjustable safety bars where you can do squats, bench presses, overhead presses, and many other exercises safely.
You'll also find bench press stations with flat, incline, or decline benches. Some gyms have dedicated deadlift platforms. These are raised, rubberized areas where you can safely drop heavy weights. There might also be a dip station for body weight dips and pull-up or chin-up bars.
Now, weight machines are generally more beginner-friendly because they guide your movement and provide more stability. You've got machines for every muscle group: leg press machines, leg extension and leg curl machines for your quads and hamstrings, calf raise machines for your lower legs.
For upper body, there are chest press machines, shoulder press machines, lat pull-down machines for your back, seated row machines, and bicep curl machines. Many modern gyms also have cable machines with adjustable pulleys that allow for a huge variety of exercises.
Speaking of cable machines, let me tell you about my first encounter with one of those. This was about 3 months into my gym membership, and I thought I was getting pretty comfortable with the equipment. I see this cable crossover machine, the one with 2 high pulleys and cables hanging down.
Oh, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Those can be tricky.
So I grab both handles and I try to do what I think is a chest fly exercise, but I haven't adjusted the weight properly. I pull the handles down and suddenly I'm getting yanked upward by the cables. My feet actually left the ground for a second. I'm flailing around like a scarecrow in a tornado.
No way. That must have been so scary and embarrassing at the same time.
It was, but here's the great part. This woman who was using the machine next to me came over and said, "Hey, first time with cables?" When I nodded sheepishly, she spent 10 minutes teaching me how to adjust a weight, how to position my body, and how to control the movement. She explained that the key is starting with light weight and focusing on form, not trying to impress anyone.
That's such a perfect example of gym culture at its best. Most people are really willing to help if you ask. But let me share my own disaster story. This one involves the Smith machine. Do you know what that is, James?
Oh yeah, the Smith machine. It's like a barbell that's fixed to vertical tracks so it can only move up and down in a straight line. It's supposed to be safer than free weight squats.
Exactly. So I'm about 2 weeks into my gym membership, feeling pretty confident because I'd been using the leg press machine successfully. I decide to try squats on the Smith machine because it seemed safer than using a regular barbell. I load up what I think is a reasonable weight and position myself under the bar.
Uh-oh, I can sense where this is going.
Here's what I didn't know. You have to twist the bar to unlock it from the safety hooks. So I'm standing there trying to lift this bar that won't budge because it's still locked in place. I'm pushing and straining, getting more and more frustrated when this guy approaches me and says, "Excuse me, you need to twist it first."
Oh no, so you were basically trying to lift the entire machine.
Pretty much. But it gets worse. So he shows me how to unlock it, and I start my squats. But I positioned my feet wrong. too far forward, so when I went down, I couldn't get back up properly. I'm stuck in this awkward half-squat position, wobbling back and forth like a penguin, until the same guy had to help me re-rack the weight.
That's hilarious and totally relatable. These stories really highlight how important it is to understand gym etiquette and ask for help when you need it. Speaking of etiquette, let's go through some of the essential unwritten rules that every gym goer should know.
Absolutely. Rule number 1, and this is crucial, always wipe down equipment after you use it. Every gym provides spray bottles and paper towels or disinfectant wipes. Nobody wants to lie down on a bench covered in someone else's sweat. And especially after recent health concerns, this has become even more important.
Rule number 2, put your weights back where you found them. This is sometimes called re-racking your weights. If you take dumbbells from the rack, put them back in the same spot. If you load plates onto a barbell, remove them when you're done. There's a saying in gym culture: if you're strong enough to lift it, you're strong enough to put it back.
Rule number 3, don't hog equipment. If someone is waiting for a machine or station you're using, it's polite to let them work in between your sets. This means you alternate using the equipment. You do your set, they do theirs, and so on. It's common courtesy and keeps everyone's workout flowing smoothly.
Rule number 4, respect personal space and don't give unsolicited advice. Unless someone specifically asks for help or is in immediate danger, keep your tips to yourself. Everyone has different goals and experience levels, and unwanted advice can make people feel self-conscious.
Rule number 5, keep phone conversations to a minimum and use headphones for music. It's fine to change songs or track your workout on your phone, but having loud conversations while occupying equipment others want to use is inconsiderate. And please, no speakerphone calls in the middle of the weight room.
Now let's talk about fitness vocabulary and terminology. The most basic term is workout. This simply means to exercise. You might say, I work out 4 times a week, or I had a great workout today. A workout is a session of physical exercise.
Then you have reps and sets. These are fundamental concepts. A rep, short for repetition, is one complete movement of an exercise. So one push-up is one rep. A set is a group of reps performed consecutively. If I say I did 3 sets of 10 push-ups, that means I did 10 push-ups, rested, 10 more, rested, then 10 more.
Rest or rest period is a time you take between sets to recover. This might be 30 seconds for light exercises or several minutes for heavy lifting. Some people use a timer to track their rest periods precisely.
Form refers to your technique, how correctly you're performing an exercise. Good form is crucial for preventing injury and getting the most benefit from your workout. You might hear people say, focus on form over weight, meaning it's better to lift lighter weights with perfect technique than heavy weights with poor technique.
Let's talk about different types of training goals. If someone is trying to bulk up or gain mass, they're trying to build muscle and get bigger. This typically involves lifting heavy weights with lower reps and eating more calories to support muscle growth.
On the opposite end, if someone is trying to cut or lean out, they're trying to lose fat while maintaining muscle mass. This usually involves more cardio exercise, higher rep ranges, and eating fewer calories. You might hear someone say, I'm cutting for beach season.
Tone up is another common term, though it's a bit misunderstood. People usually mean they want to build some muscle while reducing body fat to create a more defined appearance. There's also maintenance, which means maintaining your current fitness level without major changes.
Common exercise verbs include lift, press, pull, squat, deadlift, and curl. You might hit the weights, which means doing strength training, or hit the cardio, which means doing cardiovascular exercise. Max out means lifting the heaviest weight you can handle for one repetition.
Spotting is a crucial safety concept. It means having someone assist you during an exercise, usually by standing ready to help you if you can't complete a rep. You might ask someone, can you spot me on bench press? This is especially important for exercises where you could get trapped under a weight.
Let me share another gym story that involves asking for a spot. This happened about 6 months into my gym journey. I was feeling confident with bench pressing and decided to try adding more weight than usual. I loaded up the bar and lay down on the bench, but I realized I should probably ask for a spot since it was heavier than normal.
That was smart. Asking for a spot shows maturity and safety awareness.
So I approach this guy who looks experienced and say, "Excuse me, could you give me a spot?" He happily agrees and comes over. But here's where it gets awkward. I had no idea how to communicate what I wanted. He's standing there asking, "How many reps are you going for?" And "Do you want to lift off?" And I'm like, yes, maybe?
Oh no, so you didn't know the spotting terminology.
Exactly. A lift-off means the spotter helps you get the weight off the rack before you start your set. I didn't know that. So he gives me this gentle lift-off, but then I start pressing and I'm struggling more than expected. I'm supposed to tell him when I need help, but I'm too focused on trying to lift the weight that I can barely speak.
This is getting tense. What happened?
Well, this experienced spotter recognized that I was struggling and started giving me just enough help to complete the rep. Afterward, he explained the whole process to me, how to communicate during the set, when to ask for help, how many reps to aim for. He even showed me how to fail safely if I can't complete a rep. It was like a masterclass in gym communication.
That's fantastic. It really shows how most gym goers are willing to help and share knowledge. Now, let's talk about some common fitness idioms and expressions that you'll hear both in the gym and in everyday English conversation.
The most famous fitness idiom is probably "no pain, no gain." This means you have to work hard and maybe experience some discomfort to achieve your goals. It doesn't just apply to exercise. You might use it about studying, learning a skill, or any challenging endeavor.
Feeling the burn literally refers to that burning sensation in your muscles during intense exercise, but people use it for any challenging situation. I'm really feeling the burn with all these overtime hours at work.
If someone is in tip-top shape, they're in excellent physical condition, but you can use this more broadly. My presentation is in tip-top shape for tomorrow's meeting. Punching above your weight means performing better than expected or taking on a challenge that seems too big for you.
Throwing in the towel comes from boxing, when a boxer's coach throws in the towel in the ring to signal surrender. Now it means giving up on something. Going the extra mile means putting in extra effort beyond what's expected. And hitting your stride means finding your optimal pace or rhythm.
All right, everyone, let's wrap up today's comprehensive gym guide. We've covered everything from cardio equipment like treadmills, ellipticals, and rowing machines to strength training equipment like dumbbells, barbells, power racks, and cable machines. We discussed crucial gym etiquette rules and shared some entertaining personal stories about learning gym culture the hard way.
We explored essential fitness vocabulary, reps, sets, form, spotting, bulking, and cutting, and finished with some great fitness idioms you can use in everyday conversation. Remember, everyone starts somewhere, and most gym goers are happy to help if you ask politely. Don't let intimidation keep you from achieving your fitness goals.
Thanks for joining us on the English Coffee Talk Show. Subscribe for more episodes, hit that notification bell, and if you enjoyed today's gym vocabulary adventure, please leave us a review. Until next time, keep practicing your English, and maybe we'll see you at the gym. Take care, everyone.